Good evening. My name is Danielle Kaschak. I'm a senior at Utica High School and a member of the Superintendent's Student Advisory Committee. On behalf of my fellow students on the committee, I'm very pleased to welcome you to the 10th Annual Academic Blitz. The Student Advisory Committee started this Blitz to help parents and students better understand the options available to them in our schools. The process of program selections and our options after graduation need proper planning. The good news is that tonight you'll be able to create a game plan to help guide you and your future success. We are fortunate to be in a district that offers so many amazing opportunities for students, and it is important that you are able to find out which options are best suited to your unique needs. At this time, I would like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Christine Johns. Under her leadership, students in our district are performing at levels that are the best in Macomb County and above state and national averages. She holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Pittsburgh, a master's degree from Johns Hopkins University, and both a master's of education degree and doctor of education degree in administration from Harvard University. On a more personal note, I've worked very closely with Dr. Johns over the past 4 years as a member on her advisory committee. Throughout these years, it has become evident that Dr. Johns recognizes that each student is unique, and she supports the different paths each of us take toward preparing for our future. I'm very thankful for her guidance and dedication to the students in our district. I'm confident that what I've learned from Dr. Johns and the curriculum from UCS will help me achieve success in college and in years to come. Please welcome Dr. Christine Johns.
Thank you, Danielle, and good evening to all of you, and welcome. Tonight we have some very special guests, and I'd just like to recognize two of our Board of Education members. First, our Board President, Mrs. Jean Clyda, and our Board Vice President, Mrs. Michelle Templeton. Danielle, thank you for those kind words. I want to say to all of you tonight, this is one of the most important nights in your child's education. It's important because tonight you're going to have the opportunity to explore some of the wonderful programs that we offer in the Utica Community Schools. I'm also very proud to say to you that Danielle said a few minutes ago, this is our 10th year of the Academic Blitz. And what's special about this Academic Blitz is it was designed by students for students. 10 years ago, the Student Advisory told me that we have fantastic things to offer in the district, but we need to do a better job of communicating to our students. We need to tell students earlier in their educational career. It was on the advice of freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors that we decided we needed to expand it. We needed to invite underclassmen because students didn't need to make up their minds what they were going to do in 9th grade. They needed to start thinking about that early in their elementary years, and then we needed to have the Blitz so they could explore all the program offerings in the district. Tonight you will have the opportunity to explore our Math, Science, Technology program, our International Baccalaureate program, our Center for Science and Industry, our 4 comprehensive high schools that offer many advanced placement courses, that offer career and technical education courses. The idea is what is best for you. And I would say to you is that you need to really explore these programs. Please ask questions of the teachers, talk to the students, that's most important. And many of the teachers will offer you tonight the opportunity to shadow other students. I would encourage you to do so. The number one question I get every year in many things that I do throughout the district is, Dr. Johns, what program is the best program? And I would say the best program is the one that you are interested in and the one that matches what you want to learn about and you want to study deeply. Because they're all great programs if you're interested in it. The other thing I want to say to you is that our Board of Education and our team, our administrative team and the educators in this district, we remain committed that all of our kids pursue some type of post-secondary education. And I know you'll hear different reports, even from many leaders that will say, well, we really don't need to tell all kids they're going to college. I will tell you as your superintendent and as our Board of Education expects, we want all of our kids to set their sights on post-secondary education. all students, and I do mean all students, must think about their future. They must think about a four-year degree. They must think about a community college or some type of industry certification. The reason I say that is because we know here in Michigan that the economy can be unforgiving. And the fact of the matter is those who hold college degrees, advanced degrees, do better. And if you don't believe me, there is a recent article, January 12th, that was in the Detroit News. And it included that it made a few statements, and they said, Americans with no more than a high school diploma have fallen so far behind college graduates in their economic lives that the earning gap between college grads and everyone else has reached its widest point. College grads earned 56% more than high school graduates in 2015. 64% of high school-only grads are employed versus 84% of college grads. Quality of life, high school grads are less likely to own a home, be married, contribute toward their future retirements. Again, I'm not saying that all kids have to go to a four-year college, but I think in the Utica Community Schools, our kids can go to four-year colleges, and they should go. And again, we need to continue to plot that course. However, if you choose something in career and technical education, you want to pursue something, get an associate's degree or get an industry certification, you may do so. What I love about many of our programs and our career and technology education programs is many of our students are doing both. They're taking CTE classes, they're taking advanced placement courses, and they're getting industry certifications. Some of them are getting jobs while they're working to pay their way through college, and then they're working towards that associate's degree or that bachelor's degree. It doesn't matter which path you go. It's important that you keep on learning, and again, you pursue your hopes and dreams. As our students consider their future, I also want to tell you what business leaders are telling me. Just a couple of weeks ago during the auto show, I met with the Detroit Regional Chamber of Commerce. A number of business leaders and superintendents were invited in, and we were talking about the future jobs of tomorrow and what they needed to immediately be able to fill some of these jobs and into the future. They talked about one of the number one skills that young people needed, that they needed individuals who could communicate face-to-face and in the written work. And the written work was really important, that they could actually very carefully craft a document. The other they talked about was online, being able to communicate in online collaborative platforms, which I know we have throughout UCS. And that students needed to attend, and they needed to be punctual. The one thing I know about students in the Utica Community Schools, we have an attendance rate of 95% for 28,000 kids on an annual basis. So I want to thank our parents for making sure your kids come to school. I want to remind our students that is your job to come to school and to do your work every day, because it's the skills you're going to need as you move into the future workforce. It's obvious to us, but we need to continue to reinforce it. The other thing I want to share with you is we talk about technology, and the district has put in place kindergarten through 12th grade coding. Why coding? Because the jobs that are in this community, in this state, are really about the automation that has occurred, whether you're in an auto industry or you're in some second-tier plant, or whether you're in the medical profession. So we are really gearing up to get more of our students to code, and I will tell you, the elementary kids are not having any problems coding, and we're going to continue with an advanced placement course in computer science, and we will continue to grow that program over the years. One of the things that I'm proud of, and I know our board is proud of, is that we are, in the Utica Community Schools, a hotbed for robotics. Underwater robotics, Lego robotics, and our first robotics teams. So again, there's much opportunity. Again, how the particular area of coding is growing nationally. There are 512,000 open jobs today. There's only 42,969 graduates to fill those jobs. Michigan alone has 14,535 jobs open, 1,612 graduates. I say those young people come out of the Utica Community Schools and should fill those jobs. That's why we're gearing up. So again, I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here, and wish you a fantastic evening. And I want to thank the Student Advisory for their brilliance in creating the advisory and continuing it year after year. And it is my honor and pleasure to support our students as they think about their future. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Johns. Tonight, we are very pleased to have as our special guest, Dr. Keith E. Whitfield, Provost of Wayne State University. As Wayne State's Chief Academic Officer, Dr. Whitfield is the university's second-ranking executive officer and responsible for all matters related to its instructional mission. Dr. Whitfield earned a bachelor's degree from the College of Santa Fe, a PhD from Texas Tech University, and received postdoctoral training from the University of Colorado Boulder. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Whitfield.
Well, good evening. So, your first step towards advancing your education is knowing when people say good evening, you're supposed to rally and say good evening. So, let's try it again. Good evening. Good evening. Okay, that's supposed to be 750 people. Okay, we'll work on that. I am so pleased to be here this evening. I like to be called the new provost at Wayne State University because I've been here since June 1, and I'm still learning my way around, but I can tell you that coming here has been one of the best decisions I've made in my life, and I've made a lot of really good ones. But I want to tell you just a little bit about my life in the short time that I have with you. I won't be a usual professor and go on and on and on. I'll try to make the story short. But most of all, I want to be able to share with you the idea about passion. I think when you heard from our previous speaker, isn't it amazing hearing how passionate she is about educating you all as students? And with that, I'd actually like you, this is your second test, if you join me in thanking her for sharing her thoughts. But all of this is about passion. As she talked about the different types of jobs that are there, they mean a lot in terms of earning and income and all those other sorts of things. But what makes a good life is not just making money. What makes a good life is to be able to do things that you're passionate about. And we can be passionate about our families, we can be passionate about our pets, we can be passionate about our cars, but a lot of our day gets ending up being spent working. And if we can actually find work that we're passionate about, it makes our lives that much more special. I am very blessed of that I got on a track that's allowed me to follow my passion. My passion has been about learning. And here's where I drone on and on and on. I actually have several things that I do in terms of being a faculty and being a researcher. I'm a gerontologist, which means that I study aging. We all have to do that regardless of what we want to do. And I focus on the relationship between cognitive aging and health, particularly in special populations like African Americans, but I also have training in quantitative genetics, which is studying the similarity among members of families, psychology, health, epidemiology, several areas. So you might ask, why would somebody try to learn all about all of those different things? How did I get here? I give a lot of credit to my grandfather. My grandfather, to me, was one of the smartest men I ever knew. But what's fascinating is that when I got into the 8th grade, I don't know why, I asked him, so how far did you go in school? And he told me the 6th grade. I said, the 6th grade? I said, I'm in the 8th grade, so I'm smarter than he is. Ah, okay. So I thought about it, and I said, I'm gonna get into a conversation with him, and I'm gonna show him just how smart I am. And we used to love going camping and fishing, and the biggest part of the trip was always planning the trip, figuring how far you needed to go, gas mileage, all those sorts of things. So I sat and did my little math and was trying to figure out, if we go 55 miles an hour, this is the old days, 55 miles an hour, we'll get there in this much time. And I showed him, I said, I can tell you when we're going to get there. We're going to get there at 5 o'clock. And he says, oh, no, we're going to get there at 8 o'clock. And I said, but that doesn't add up. And he says, well, what you're forgetting is that you've got to stop for gas, and then you're going to be hungry, and then you're going to need to use the bathroom. And then And he talked about all of these things that only somebody with life experience could actually apply to a common sense problem. And I said, well, how did you figure all of this out? And he said, well, some of it's by living and some of it's by reading. I read everything. So you may have looked at the roadmap, but I've actually read the roadmap and thought about all the things that you needed to add into what that calculation was. I figured, well, he got me here, but I'll try again. And sure enough, I try on something else. We talk about politics. I learned never to talk to him about politics. And we talk about, what about going to college? And that was where he said, well, that's something I don't know that much about. And I thought, oh, okay, I'm in ninth grade at the time, I'm talking to people and talking to different schools, and so I was telling him. And he still told me, he said, well, he goes, but the most important thing is that you have to learn. And I thought, that's kind of simple. He said, but you learn by reading, you learn by paying attention, and you learn by finding those things that you're excited about. And don't be worried that you're excited about one thing and then you're excited about something else. He said, that's just the path that you take. I always thought, you kind of phoned that one in. That's okay, but I didn't know any more than that, and so he was still smarter than me. But I came to find out as I went through high school, and I can tell you, I have somebody that I work with here, and I'm almost afraid to say this publicly, but I wasn't that great of a student in high school. But from talking to him, he told me that this was going to be my future, that all I needed to do was to think about the things I was excited about and interested in and pursue those things. So I said, okay, I'll try it. So I went off and went to school at the College of Santa Fe. So now I'm going to tell you a little story. This is where it starts to get a little long. I was trying to figure out, I went to a great event just like this that had all the different schools there, and they were all advertising. And I saw the College of Santa Fe, and I said, New Mexico. And I lived in Illinois at the time. I said, why would I go there? Well, at the time, there was this TV show called McCloud. Yeah, see, some of you remember McCloud. He was a guy in New York, rode a horse, he gave his own brand of justice. But he was from Taos, New Mexico. And I thought, McCloud's my guy. If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. And so that's how I chose the school that I was going to go to. Yeah, I'm losing brownie points here as we speak. But one of the things that happened was I met somebody in college who wanted to be my mentor. And he got me involved in doing research. And now, you may not be excited about the research, but it was watching mice. And I'd sit in a dark room, and I'd watch them move around, and I have to mark when they raised up, and then I marked when they defecated, and then I did other little things to just look and see what they were doing behaviorally. And so then I learned how to put them into a little maze that was hooked up to a computer. So I had to learn how to use a computer. And then interestingly enough, with the mice, they were from different kinds of mice. And we were comparing the different kinds of mice and how well they could learn the little maze. I figured I just had a good job. It was paying me money to be able to go to school. But little did I know, it was really building my interest and excitement about genetics, about the health of the little mice when they got shocked in the maze, and even about epidemiology, which is really studying populations. So I did a little bit better in college, but didn't really understand that for what I wanted to do, I needed to go even farther. My father had gotten a bachelor's degree. He first gotten his associate's degree and then went and got a bachelor's degree. So in a way, I was almost like a first-generation kid. And when I told my parents, well, I'm going to go to school for my PhD, and they said, well, how long are you going to go to school? And I said, I don't know. 4 more years at least. It actually took me 5. But I started studying all these things that I was passionate about, and I read more and more and more. I started to become a little bit better student. And it was the opportunities that I pursued because they were built around my passion that allowed me to do lots of exciting things. Actually, studying the family piece of it, I got a chance to go to Russia and study twins in Russia. And then I got a chance to go to Sweden and study twins in Sweden. And got a chance to go to Germany, Japan, and lots of places that I would have never dreamed if I hadn't first started listening to my grandfather about just learn for the sake of learning. Be excited about that process. And within that was all about my passions, the things that I'm excited about. I've had the great opportunity of really pursuing, as I've been a scientist, pursuing the things that I was interested in. I didn't stay in one little lane. I did the things that actually interested me. And I think it was that passion that allowed me to be successful, allowed me to go to University of Colorado Boulder, and then to Penn State University, then to Duke University. And from there, I went through and became a full professor. And I was looking then for the next challenge. And I said, what am I passionate about? I'd gotten far enough in my career. I'd kind of done the things you needed to do. And I said, you know what I'm passionate about? I'm passionate about trying to share with others what my grandfather had taught me. And one of the opportunities that came up was to come to Wayne State. And I thought about it and said, well, you know, I got a good job at Duke. They pay me a lot of money. I don't have to do that much. But I wasn't doing the things I was passionate about. I wasn't having an opportunity to connect with students and to be able to try to make the kinds of opportunities that I had as I was running mice in a maze or talking to my grandfather about those other kinds of experiences. So when this opportunity came up, I actually thought, let me see who I'd work for. So when you get to be provost, there's only kind of sort of one person above you, and it's the president. So I looked up online, everybody, you always do your research. Who am I going to work for? So I see this guy, and it says he was at Texas Tech University. He was at the University of Colorado. And then it said he was born in Japan. And I thought, isn't this fascinating? I went to the University of Colorado. I went to Texas Tech University for my graduate school. And actually, I was born in Japan. And I said, I got to meet this guy. So if nothing else, I'll get a free trip, I'll apply for the job, and I'll go meet this guy. And I met him, and I could see the passion and excitement and commitment that he had to making Wayne even a greater university. And I understood that's what I was looking for. So I'm here with you today representing Wayne State University, a fantastic place that I think each and every one of you could have the opportunity to pursue your own passion. Now, I don't like to say this, but if you don't come to Wayne, it's hard to finish that sentence. If you don't come to Wayne, I hope you do get a chance, as Dr. Johnson said, to follow your passion, to do these things where there are opportunities, but find the things that you love to do. Find the excitement that's in all of those different opportunities, and find the one that fits you. I think if you come to Wayne State University, we'll find a place that'll fit you. But if not there, please do pursue your passion. And if there's anything that we can do to be able to help you, please reach out to us and let us know. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Whitfield. On behalf of the Superintendent's Advisory Committee, I am very pleased to give you this small gift.
I thought it was small. Thank you so much.
Finally, we are pleased to have with us tonight Mr. Robert Van Camp, the president of the UCS Foundation for Educational Excellence. The foundation is a group of volunteers who give their time and talents to raise funds to support the teachers and students of our district. Please welcome Mr. Van Camp.
Thank you. I know Utica Community School students are smart. I know you're good learners. You learned a lot from the last speaker, and the first thing you learned was when the speaker says good evening, you say, good evening. Well done. As she mentioned, I am with Utica Schools Foundation. You may ask, what is the foundation? We are a group of community, business, and civic leaders. Many of us have been UCS parents and involved with Utica Community Schools. We've been supporting this district and the great students in this district for over 30 years. What do? Well, students, for those of you who are already gone past 6th grade, you probably went to one of our events. If you remember back to 6th grade, you got all dressed up, you thought about careers, you went to a big luncheon and you talked with other business people about those careers. That was an event that we sponsored. Every year for 2,000 6th graders, we've been doing that for 24 years. We also have been supporting the arts programs. We've been supporting teachers. We started a teacher grant program again last year. But why am I here tonight? Because we're going to award a scholarship tonight for any current UCS 6th grader through 11th grader. You can follow your passion. Maybe not yet for Wayne State. That'll come after you graduate. But maybe you're interested in going to a summer robotics camp or a summer arts camp or a music camp. The scholarship can be used for that. You decide. You follow your passion now. But you can't win if you don't sign up. So when you're done here, before you leave, fill out one of these forms. We have a booth in the cafeteria. You'll find me. You'll find a big banner that says UCS Foundation. Fill out this form. Put it in the basket, and we're going to do a drawing around 9 o'clock. You don't need to be present to win. But the key thing is we support your passion, and you're following that passion, just as the superintendent and just as the Wayne State University Provost does. So, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you in the cafeteria. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Van Camp. Tonight's breakout sessions are listed on your agenda and map in your handouts. We also have members of the Student Advisory Committee in bright shirts to help you find your breakout sessions. Tonight is all about learning your options in Utica Community Schools and beyond. Have a great night.